doing a workshop this weekend as part of the Harpin by the Sea festival. I've had an email in already asking me to explain embossing. Just a bit of a heads up really on what I'm going to be talking about that's a little bit different from other people's talking about embossing. And that is the corners of the slot. If you look at the principles of embossing is just to reduce the gap between the reed and the slot. And the traditional way is to get some sort of tool and to rub it along here, along the edges, and it creates a burr and closes the gap. Now that's all well and good, but the problem areas are these. These are the corners of the slots, and they're quite difficult to emboss, because what you find if you look at reeds under a microscope, I use a lot of microscopes. I'm going to show you some microscopes at the workshop. This is one I use, a Meiji it's an EM5, but I use a lot of microscopes because things get quite small. But it's these tips here. Manufacturers now, if you look at a reed under a microscope, you will see that the reeds now are very rounded. Whether that's just through a manufacturing process of deburring the reeds, but the corners are very rounded, and to get the tool in to the corners is very difficult. So I'm going to show you how I do it, and you can maybe think of a way to do it yourself with your own tools. But this is how I tackle the corners of those reeds. So the first part of the embossing process is to get the reed plate under the microscope, and to use my Zidle tool and just to go the full length of the reed slot to close the gap. Under a microscope you can do this in real time. You haven't got to keep checking. You can see the gap quite clearly. Now you can see the problem area is the corners. You've got a rounded reed and you've got a sort of an indented embossed slot. So for that I use a GRS engraving tool. It's a pneumatic tool with a graver, and I can use the tool to go right into the corners and to make the corners match the contour of the reed. It's quite a delicate process. So here you can see it now. I've done the left hand side. It's the exact profile of the reed itself. The right hand side needs to be done. Is another example on a Suzuki that I did, and you can get them very close. So there you have it. That's how I corner emboss reed plates. If you want to find out more about this process or any others, tune into Harpin by the Sea this Saturday and Sunday, 12 o'clock till 5, and I'll see you there. Thanks very much.